All right, next up, we have the game Spiral from a studio called Folklore Games. And it's actually a game I have never seen, so I'm quite fortunate that I do get to see a lot of the games around from the developers in town, but I have not seen this one, and the images look great. And we're going to meet with the lead developer, Mikael. This is a studio that's been around since 2012. They're a 14-person team, and the project started about 2 years ago in 2018 and still has a year plus of development left. This is their first game, also as a game studio, and so it'll be fun to see how this game is coming along. All right, Mikael, can you hear me? Everything good?
Yes, I can hear you
All right,
perfectly
great,
fine.
I can hear you, so that's wonderful. All right, so just like we had before, I'm going to ask you if you're ready to present, and once you say yes, then you've got your 5 minutes. Are you ready to present?
As much as I can be.
All right, off you go.
What a beautiful day today. Oh, I should get outside and enjoy
Yeah,
it.
I was just waiting for Bernard to speak so we can hear him clearly before I start to speak. So, Spiral centers around Bernard, a man who is suffering from cognitive degeneration. You will accompany him on his journey as he wishes goodbye one last time to the memories that were important to him. As I mentioned, hopefully you heard Bernard speak a few moments ago about the weather outside. Uh, so far, we have a few moments inside of the build that has voice acting. Upon release, however, we'll have voiceover in English for the whole game. We are currently very early in the game, visiting Bernard's first memory, which happened in his family's cabin. He has a strong connection to this location, and we will revisit it multiple times throughout the game, seeing it evolve as the years pass. Here, the past is slowly bleeding in the present, and we see the echoes that appear in front of Bernard, which are moments of his life, recreated by his mind, blending together multiple eras. From that point, we're switching completely to the past, and we're going to take control of Bernard at the age he was during that memory. So far, I've been playing in the exact opposite way that we hope you're going to play Spiral. After all, it's a narrative game. We want you to enjoy it and see and discover as much as you can. However, since we're limited by time, I'm rushing through it to show you as much as possible. So that's Elfie, Bernard's faithful companion. You probably also noticed the prompts that are scattered all around the scene. And if you take the time to interact with them, you'll be able to learn more about the memory. But once again, since you're pressured by time, I will ignore most of them. If, for instance, I interacted with Elfie, Bernard will take some time to pet her. Aside from that, as you saw, if I'm able to find her ball, I will be able to play fetch with her a little bit. So we're going towards Monique, Bernard's mother, which she is gardening. Throughout the game, you will have many opportunities to connect with different characters, but not only by talking with them, but also playing with them, working alongside them, or simply sharing their passion. These connections with the important actors of Bernard's life are an important way for us to address the game's theme. Cognitive degeneration is not an easy subject, and we don't want to make a tragic game. Spiral's goal is to open up a discussion, make you feel empathy, patience, and love. We want our game to help you see how the little things in life are important and how sometimes we take them for granted. Without surprise, each scene will have a set of events that will drive the narrative forward, but those are only a small part of each memory. If you take the time to explore, you will be able to meet characters, learn more, and understand more about Bernard's past, his life, and the world you are visiting. While exploring, you will sometimes be able to unlock pieces of Bernard's mind, helping him remember more clearly some elements that will then affect future scenes. You can't really know when you discover such a moment. However, if you miss some of them, you will leave the world just a bit emptier. Spiral has been built with an episodic structure in mind, in order to help guide the narrative, but also show the progress of the disease. At first, as in this scene, the effect of the degeneration will be barely perceptible, but as the game progresses, so will those effects, slowly taking over every memory you and Bernard are going to visit. To help you keep track of everything you discover, you will have access to Bernard's journal, filled with, well, at first it will be empty, but as you discover different moments in the memories you visit, you will slowly fill it back with the words he once wrote in his past. Here we have an example of the mind of Bernard will affect the environment. As he loses focus on the cabin itself, it slowly starts to fall apart. Spiral centers around exploration, but as you play, you will sometimes stumble on mechanics that will be crafted specifically for the event happening inside of the memory. For example, here, Bernard's father is helping him to fish, but of course he will be the one handling the fishing rod and doing the fishing, helping you to connect with Bernard, doing what he did himself all those years ago.
While we wait, why don't I tell you a story?
Thank you so much, Mikael. Wow, what a beautiful game. Really something special, and I can imagine it'll be a very emotional experience. The visuals, the art style is quite unique, quite interesting. Do you have some touch points or reference points that inspired the art style?
We have. I'm definitely not the best person to talk to you about that. Our art director will be a better fit, but we looked at many different games. Our goal was to have something that will be both not really realistic, but not cartoony either. We're aiming for something between those and reminding of the aspect of the game that it's both not a dream, but in the mind of Bernard. So everything look as it should be, but just a little bit changed, deformed. So you can recognize the element you see for the trees, the house, everything, but it's just not quite right. So I hope it answered your question.
Yeah, beautiful. I mean, really stunning. I mean, the episodic structure and sort of obviously the emphasis on the story and so on. I mean, how do you think that's going to play out on Twitch? Right, if you have a streamer who really enjoys the game and is playing it with their fans, are you thinking about that experience? Are you optimizing it for that?
It's an excellent question. I don't think we optimize it specifically for Twitch. It will necessarily be something we'll need to keep in mind, since narrative games and, well, streamers in general is something that's a bit at odds with each other, since, well, if you see the story, you saw the story. It's not like a game you play specifically for the gameplay. So we'll definitely need to work around that question eventually, but it's not something we focused so far.
Right. Yeah, because I'm, it's such a unique style of game dealing with these topics that I can imagine that streamers will be very excited to play and create kind of an emotional experience with their fans. So
we
awesome.
do hope so.
All right. Yeah. Wonderful, Mikael. Congrats on the game so far. Very eager to see it come out and be finished. Thanks for joining us, and
Thank you very
best
much.
wishes on the launch.